This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Press Pass Lab number 165. I can't believe that we've already made it to number 165. We haven't had a show since last season. This is going to be our first of season 91, and I have a new guest, sort of new guest with me. So I am your founder, Commissioner Nate of both the OMFL and the Grown Folks Online community. Appreciate you for tuning in because it looks like we got a bunch of you. The chat is up. We're talking with you, and this week, got Mr. Smash of the Chicago Bears, a man who is not limited on opinions and willing to step out and let people know what they are. Mr. Smash, how you doing tonight, buddy? You don't have to barge in. Everybody wants you to do your own show, just so that you know. So as I put out my how-to videos, you might need to watch them because everybody wants you to do your own podcast show for the OMFL. We could call it Smash Unchained or something. That just let you go. Yeah, let you go do your thing, man. Well, let's just jump right into it. We're gonna do our fire drill. It's our favorite game from the first 3 weeks of the season. I can't believe it's already going to be season 5 here a little later tonight, maybe even while we're on the show. What was your favorite game from the first 3 weeks of the season? All right. I got Buffalo and the 49ers in week 1. Would that be it?
One guy put it back to another next guy, and then next thing I know, it was like whatever. And actually, they did a replay of the game, and Buffalo once again came back and beat them 13-0. But I will also say most games I didn't watch so far this year has been your game. I think the one that stood out the most to me maybe was the first game. You know, speaking of your games, I always like to see what big number 97 is going to do. He's impressive on that, but I see that your game was the first game was against the Vikings, my Division 4, where you lost.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, 29-32. I think you started Joe, right? That game,
I did, yeah.
A pretty decent game. What, he was 17 or 25 for yards, 3 touchdowns. Interception, not bad for the start. And I think that was a home game, right?
No, it was at the Vikings.
Okay, well, hey, that's even better, battling Joe Madden, who had 295 yards, 1 more yard than your rookie. Actually,
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good game.
It was a good back and forth
game. He had 107 yards. Kamara had 83 yards. Your second back had 30. Like I said, I watched the game. Like I said, mostly watch a lot of your games. To me, that one basically stood out to me back and forth, and we all wanted to see what Joe was going to do. That you got your LSU guy.
But I'm going to go with a week 3 game, but it's funny that you picked Buffalo 49ers. I'm actually going to pick the Buffalo and New England Patriots game from week 3 where Buffalo upsets the New England Patriots. I didn't see this one coming
I
at all.
didn't either.
21-14, 117 rushing yards to 92. So those were pretty even, but 326 passing yards for the Buffalo Bills, and 2 turnovers for each of these teams, but 10 third down conversions. So Buffalo just couldn't be stopped on third down. Josh Allen, spectacular game, 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 8 times. New England's McAllister was sacked 6 times. 14 sacks in this game. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I didn't mean to
what happened.
interrupt, but I'm looking at the Bills receivers like Zay Jones, 6. I'm sorry for stepping on your toes, but it just stood out to me. I'm looking like, goodness.
Look at Proctor, though. He's got 7 for 126 and 3 touchdowns. And even New England, he's got Avery McKinley, who's got 2 for 118. He had a long 61 with a touchdown.
Kirkland.
Just a crazy back and forth game here. Tons of sacks. Tristan Colon Castillo, a rookie center, gave up 4 sacks for the New England Patriots. 11 tackles by Demenci. Ryan Shazier had 11 tackles. Nickerson had 11 tackles. Zach Braun, my guy, had 8 tackles. I mean, just a crazy stats game. You can look at the sacks here. Ed Oliver had 3. Brian Nickerson for the Patriots had 2. Reese had 2. Chase Winovich had 2. It's just crazy back and forth game. And then a couple of interceptions here. Ruben Newell, Matt Molino, and Levi Wallace. So Buffalo comes away at home with a big victory against the New England Patriots, and really put the stake in the ground that season 91 might be the season that the Buffalo Bills finally put this rebuild back together and put it all here so that they can make something happen.
I can tell you his confidence is up from chatting with him. Yeah. Real high Buffalo.
His what?
His confidence is up in Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's feeling himself, and he should be. I mean, that's a couple of big victories there against 00 and Bloop. I know Bloop's pretty down on himself, but overall, it's a really good victory for the Buffalo Bills, and we'll see if he can sustain it. Now, a lot of movement this offseason, a lot of back and forth between these guys, new sliders, like all kinds of new stuff that really no abilities. Like a lot of things have shifted, and the game is playing much different, and so everyone's kind of trying to get adjusted. And with that, we're going to make our predictions here in the AFC. So we're going to move right to the AFC North. We get the Browns at 2-1, the Steelers at 2-2. They've got a brand new owner. The Browns have a brand new owner. Massimo took over the Browns. The Steelers is a call up from the Deuce. The Bengals at 2-2, and then the Ravens at 1-2. How do you see the AFC North playing out, and who wins this division?
I'm going with Cincy. I think Cincy has got his mojo. I know Massimo is City. I think I'm not sure, but then the Ravens 1-2, but he went all in, got a hell of a secondary. But I'm going with the Bengals. I think playing like Cincy. But it's a tight division right now. We got the Browns 1, Steelers 2-2, Bengals 2, and the Ravens 1-2, not far behind. And with the Bengals scoring 125 points, Steelers at 133. Let me see. Who is this?
The Steelers is I forget his name, but he's a call up from the Deuce. Yeah.
God. Ray the Savage, 619.
Ray the Savage. That's it.
He was just in the Deuce Bowl. Ray the Savage, 619. He's pretty good. I think I played him over there early cycle. Score points. So I think it's just gonna be a tight race. But I'm going with the old man.
This one's got some weird stats already to me. Like the Browns are 2-1, but they've only scored 63 points. It's half of the points that both the Steelers and Bengals have put up. They've only allowed 60, so they're playing really good defense, which is not really what
Yeah,
Montimo's known for. You know, you figure he got his quarterback back and
yeah, but
he would be slinging the ball
he
all
don't
around.
have 95 plus speed
No, he
and
doesn't.
all the receivers. So
But he does have Odell Beckham. So I still like the Steelers, though. I think the Steelers are going to win this division. I think the Browns and Bengals will battle it out. And I do think the Ravens will turn things around. He's a really talented team. He was in the playoffs, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers for the AFC North with the other two teams to push for a wild card.
I
Let's go
guess
to the
that's where we
AFC South.
agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, I know. We're
Yeah.
going to see how this one plays out, though. We're going to go to the AFC South. We got the Colts at 4-0, the Titans at 2-1, Jaguars at 2-2. Everybody says your voice doppelganger, and then the Texans at 1-3. Savante has been putting together a really good team. I think that they have. He's actually put together. We were actually supposed to cover the offseason. Goofy me forgot to cover the offseason. We just jumped right in. We'll go back to the offseason, guys. I promise. But the Texans had a really good draft. The Jaguars have been a little up and down, but you can see he's scoring a lot of points. He just has to figure that defense out, which is not really what Brady's known for. He's known to have really great defense and a great running game, but struggling to put up points. But it's been the opposite this season. And then you got the Titans at 2-1, 107 points. And then you got the mighty Colts and D. Wayne, who's here in chat with us tonight at 4-0. I think this is the Colts division. He's put up 137 points. He's towards the top of the league in offense. He's given up 102. This whole Madden defense has not been his strong suit, which is not really what he's been known for and what he's built a reputation around. But man, that offense is putting up points left and right. I think the Colts win this division. The Titans will definitely get a wild card. That team is just too good, and we've seen how great of a season that they had in season 90. So I like the Colts to win this division, the Titans to get one of my wild cards. I'm going to save the other one for later, though. How do you see the AFC South playing out?
And do we even have to talk about the abilities off? He's already 4-0, Mr. Consistent, D. Wayne. I mean, do we really even have to? I'm going to look myself in the mirror and accept that question. Do I really have to say the Colts? You understood the Colts. The abilities are off, so you're not going to stop his offense. You're not going to stop his run game. So, and we're back.
Did you not think, though, with abilities off, it might even the playing field with Hines? I mean, he's still killing the league, but those abilities made him even better.
Because D. Wayne, he's consistent. And it's harder now because we know what he's going to do. And for some odd reason, stop it. And now that you don't have the abilities, probably can counter, and those D linemen and linebackers can get in there and try to stop it. You can't stop it. You couldn't stop it before in Madden 19, Madden 18. So how you gonna stop it now with the abilities off? Pulling up second, I'm going with the Titans because Mo is consistent himself, and the Jaguars. I don't know. Brady has been kind of down this cycle. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah,
Savant, he's having a run of bad. I don't know, get it going. It seems he beat me though, so but he beat me. No, he played good defense. I couldn't score. He scored on defense, and that was the game. And I just don't know. He's just in a tough way with those three guys. Whoever goes in that division will have a hard time with D. Wayne, Mo, and Brady. He's just gonna have a hard time. Doesn't turn it around. This is what, the last season? I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just think it's Colts, Titan, Jaguar, Texas, 2, 3, middle.
Let's go to the AFC East, the division that's kind of flipped itself on its head. You got the Dolphins at 2-1, the Jets at 3-1, the Bills at 2-2, and the Patriots at 0-3, only scoring 55 points so far this season and almost giving up 100. This is a crazy division to try to figure out here. Kevin is a very good player. We've seen him go deep into the playoffs, but really lacks confidence this Madden. You can see his team is 85 points for, 88 against. I mean, that doesn't really lend itself to a 2-1 record, but he's figured it out. He's got, some really good players that he's finally starting to put around some of his key pieces there in Miami. Jets and Clyde are another, if Dwayne is super consistent, then, Clyde is 1B. But man, he struggled this Madden, and he's been right around a 500 team. And then we've seen the Bills with 2 massive victories. But again, all of these teams are either scoring like right at the same amount of points that they're giving up. The Bills are actually the only one. They've got one more point than they've given up. Every other team here has actually scored less points than they've given up. And that just doesn't set itself up for a really good winning record and a deep playoff run. I think just one team's going to come out of this one. I don't think any wild cards. I think my wild card's going to come out of that first division, probably the Browns, I guess. I want to say the Bengals, but the Browns are kind of leading that so far. So I think that this division is going to be won by the Jets. I think it'll be a tight race between them and the Dolphins. I think that the Jets, they can figure out the quarterback play and get some consistency there. They'll be a much better team. But I think at the end of the day, he can just put you into some really tough areas where you start turning the ball over, right, with his user cornerback. So I like the Jets to win this one, but a tight race with the Dolphins. How do you see the AFC East playing out?
I want to say the Jets. He's complaining about his quarterback, dude. Quarterback took Jimmy, a rookie, Tom Green, who I was waiting on, and he took him. I'm gonna let my personal feelings get aside from that. But the Jets, I got the Jets finishing first. Stay consistent. Then the Dolphins, who can put up points, score with anybody in the league. And then the Bills and Bloop. I don't know my favorite Canadian here. I don't know what's going on. We're 0-3, but
Yeah, me neither.
it's still early, so who knows? It's still early, buddy. So I think going Dolphins. No, we're going Jets and Bills. Dolphins. So I'm looking at Outlaw maybe pull in, and I'm like you. I don't know who they're playing for. It's like C division foes. I probably could pick a better. I think it's Jets, Bills, Dolphins.
Let's go to the AFC West. We got the Chiefs at 2-1. We got the Miners at 2-2. The Broncos at 0-3. A big shocker there, and the Raiders at 0-3. How do you see the AFC West playing out?
The Wild Wild West. If you can't score, don't even try to go into that division. I'm telling you now.
Penguins over there now.
Yeah.
He's bringing some defense to the Chiefs that they've only scored 85 points, but they've only allowed 62. It's going to be in very top elite portion of this league. And Chiefs with a defense, that could be scary, right?
Penguin's a good player, so he'll be able to keep up ID. And he said he likes that challenge. He likes the mentality over in the West. And the Miners, who is the Miner? Colin,
always consistent.
Always consistent. And he wins, lose, lose. It's like up and down, up and down. And the Broncos, the shock of the cycle. Jay Glaze, shock of the cycle. We got the Raiders, and I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. He's been down, so say that they're going to pull up in. What did the Miners do last year? They make the playoffs? Did they make the playoffs?
I think he did not, but I think he made a close run. Like he was right there for a wild card spot.
And then that's why I asked. He gave up Bosa.
Yeah.
And so I'm going with the Chiefs.
I didn't pick up on that. Where'd Bosa go?
He went to Washington, D.C. He went to Washington. Now, I think we'll get to Denver later, but I'm going with the consistent Penguins with the Chiefs, Miners second, Broncos, and Raiders.
Now I got the yawns all of a sudden. I'm going to pick it exactly how you're picking it. I think the Chiefs are going to win this division. The Chiefs and Penguins is a really good player. He knows how to build teams, and he knows how to play really, really great defense. That's what he was known for in Pittsburgh, and now bringing that defense over to the Chiefs. Now, he's not the offensive player that Massimo was, but you don't actually have to be here. The Miners have gotten older with their receiving core. He still has Jackson. He still has playmakers there, but I do like the Chiefs to win this division. The Miners are going to be pushing them the entire way. So, that's how I see it playing out.
Look, you got speed all over the field with the Chiefs, and I think that's a dangerous combination with Pink until he meets up in the playoffs against the Colts. He gets frustrated. That's another
guys. Thanks for tuning into the show. We appreciate you guys chatting in the chat with us. And it's good to see a bunch of familiar faces. Let's move to the NFC now. Let's go NFC North. Your favorite division, your division, the one that you've owned for so long. And it too looks like it's been flipped on its head this year. You got the Packers at 3-1, scoring 117 points. That is just crazy. And he's only given up 88. So you got a little tip of the cap to Priest. I mean, he's figured a few things out there. Can he sustain it is the big question. You got the Vikings at 2-2. We know what he can do. We know that running game. He struggled a little bit on defense, but man, he's got some playmakers there. We know what Cooley can do. Only 85 points against. He's got a pretty good defense. He's going to be in the top half of the league, but he's scoring 105 points. He's got the Lions at 3-1. Then your Bears struggling out the gate, having some quarterback issues. We can, maybe touch on that, but look, you've still got a really good team, and you're not out of this. You're only 2 games back here. How do you see the NFC North playing out?
I see the NFC. Well, we got Priest. I played the first game, and I thought I was, like I said before, hey, if he plays, instead of trying to get the ball to certain people, if he plays his game like he did against me in that first half, he's gonna be unstoppable. I'm gonna move down to the Vikings. He likes to run the ball. He plays. I would say good defense, but then you'll look at the 140 points. I don't know what's going on. That could be the earlier opponents that he played. Still 2-2, and then we go down to the line. Cooley G. Well, we got Tank for 2. It didn't work, and you see he's 3-1.
No, it didn't.
So he's 3-1, and I actually watched a couple of his. He's just a consistent guy. He get the ball to who's his tight Hawkins. But I think I think he picked up a receiver in the LSU guy Jefferson. Mistake. Because if you stop, I shouldn't be giving out my secrets. But if you stop Hawkins, he has trouble moving the ball with anybody else because those receivers drop the ball and see if Jefferson help him. And then we move down to the sorry Bears. We are 1-3, gave 77 points, scored 60. First game out the gate, terrible game. The offense couldn't move the ball. We actually didn't give up a touchdown on defense. We gave up 3 points on defense, but offense gave up 7. We're 1-3, but I'm gonna call a Lion, Packer, Viking, and Bears. And the Bears bring it up with I think the Packers. Now it could be 50-50 with the Packers. That's like I said, Priest has a team. All he has to do is stay consistent, and he will take the.
Yep.
But the line, Cooley is Cooley. If I guess I don't know what's going on with him, because he's a good player. And Ross, you're my buddy, but I don't know. But this is how I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a 3-team race for the division. And it could go 33% either way. Packers, Vikings, Lions. Could be Lions, Vikings, Packers, with the Bears. So I'm calling that division basically a toss-up.
I see this one like you do. I like the Lions to win this division. I think he's got a really good rookie quarterback that he'll be able to make plays for. If he can keep his head in it and stay focused, I think he wins this division. I think Ross is going to push him. Ross is such a tough player. When I play him, he kills me almost every time and seems unstoppable. But then he has these games that
I think I get in his head. I think I get in his head, so I'm not sure.
And look, I can't call Priest until Priest proves it. And he's impressing me. I'm giving his props. He's 3-1, 117 points for, 88 against. He's not turning the ball over nearly as much. He is very impressive, but you gotta prove it. Like, he's gonna have to be consistent for entire season. So I like the Lions to win this division. I don't see a wild card coming out of here, not because one doesn't deserve it. I just think that these other divisions are pretty stacked, and you only get 2, and that division is tough to get
average,
a second person.
That division is like 9 wins.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was about to say I didn't do anything.
Yeah, we just.
I was like, I didn't do it. Just so we're clear. NFC South, we got the Panthers at 4-0, the Saints at 2-2, the Falcons at 2-2, the Bucks at 3-1. This is a little skewed, a little off because the Falcons, I think, have missed 3 games in a row. due to some family emergencies. And so I think he's lost 2 of those and won 1 of them. The Panthers' brand new owner in Trey, he humbled me. I expected him to humble me, but man, frustrating. It was just a frustrating game to play against. But he has a very, very good team here. We know what the Falcons are. And then the Bucks, 3-1, man. Another new owner. I'm skipping on who's the Bucks.
Big Hurt. Big Hurt. Big Hurt.
Oh, that's right, Big Hurt. That's duh. So Big Hurt went from the Panthers to the Buccaneers. He's got some things figured out. We know what Big Hurt is. Big Hurt's going to have really good, efficient quarterback play. He's going to play really good defense. He's really going to push the limits in a lot of ways. This division's really up in the air outside of the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to win it, of course, just like with the Packers. I think you can't go any other division. I do think, though, you get one wild card out of here. Is it the Panthers? Is it the Bucks? Can somehow the Saints put some things together? I still kind of have hopes, but I got to get some things figured out pretty quickly. The last 2 games have been really, really rough for my offense. And, you can't have a rough offense against these guys. So I like the Falcons to win this one. And I do think that the Panthers are going to win a wild card. And I'm even going to call it, I think you could possibly see an upset this year when the Panthers play the Falcons, because he's got that team rolling, playing really good. He's going to have to play a little bit more consistent. There are a few little minor things that I think he's still trying to get adjusted to when it comes to FPR here. But if you can play consistent football and really stick to your game plan, you might be able to do it this year with no abilities against the Falcons. How do you see the NFC South playing out?
Well, as Ric Flair said, to beat the man, you got to beat the man. Until I see different, I'm calling the Falcons if he gets back in time, and I hope everything's okay with his family situation. But as of right now, like you said, 4-0, the Panthers. I actually watched that game. Like you said, I'm not the side. You'd had talks with me, but I saw some stuff that he probably needs to not up over here. Now that he's in OMFL. But he can play defense, and he won. I think he won a Deuce Bowl over in the Deuce.
I think so. I think you're right.
So, and he's been touted as a good player, known to put up points from, I wasn't out of the chat in the Deuce, and just hearing that it's a problem over there for us, like not a bad problem. I don't know, but he's a problem as far as a player, scoring points. And Saint, I'm going to say this now that I got you online, like you told me. Sometimes I think you just get, you get frustrated and he said sometimes you got the commissioner hat on, you get frustrated. I think that sometimes affects your game.
Oh, 100%.
You just stay in the game, because by now, I talk to certain guys. We all know what certain guys do. They just, I think, I know you can't let certain stuff go, but certain stuff you just got, hey, play the game. Hey, call them out. And the Buccaneers, what can I say about Big Hurt? Big Hurt is consistent too, and watching some of his plays, hilarious. If he can stay focused, and I want to see these games. I want to see in the first game. I want to see Falcons, Panthers game. Then I want to see a Buccaneers. I don't know if the but I think it's going to be, like you say, I think it's going to be a 14. If I said Panthers played you, what was the score of that game?
I was like 24-9. I got in the red zone 3 times. He kept me out, and he ran away with it pretty late.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call it like this: I beat Falcons till Panthers do it against another Division 4, one Buccaneers, Panthers. Sorry to say Saints. So that's what I'm calling. I'm calling Falcons, Buccaneers, Panthers.
Smash is putting his faith in Big Hurt. Let's go over to the NFC East. We got the Redskins at 3-1, scoring 147 points. Outstanding for them. The Cowboys at 1-2, though. The Giants at 1-3, and the Eagles at 0-4. The probably most confusing team to try to figure out this, man. We're deep in the playoffs. 1, 2, 3 win seasons. Deep in the playoffs. 1, 2, 3 win seasons. How do you see the NFC East playing out?
Well, this is what I don't understand about this. Now, the most constant team I have played outside of my division, the rest.
Yeah.
I know what he going. It's just he's gonna keep it simple. He's gonna run the ball. He's not throwing. He's gonna throw across, or he's gonna throw out. He's gonna throw short. And I'm not a guy team that has so much talent and good youth that they can't figure it out. That this is what Denver's gonna do, and it's no secret. They can't stop it. And I'm looking at the Cowboys. They look like the real life Cowboys. Bunch of talent and a disappointment. I'm sorry. Don't kick me out the deuce.
But you got to give it to him. 85 points for, only 70 against. So at least he's not lopsided like a lot of these teams.
But then I can score 2 points, and if I'm 3-0, you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not about this. About who. It's about the wins and losses. You're 1-2. The team is stacked full of talent. You had you had a hell of 5 drafts. And I'm not understanding why he's 1-2. And then we move down to the Giants. He's consistent too. Pepper gets down on himself. He's up and down. And he started to make a run, then he falls off. He made a nice run last year. But 71 points, 121 points. Against is not going to get it done. Then we move down to the Eagles. Little coach. 0-4. That's not good for you. I played you. We didn't have back and forth battles. I don't know what's up and down. Playoffs, down. Playoffs.
He's given up 156 points. Got to be worse than the league, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, especially with that defense. Maybe he has to adjust to abilities. What Cox can get him 4 sacks a game, that's not happening. You know, when I played him, I'm looking for a Cox. Hell, one game, he didn't have none again. But his defense and offense, he does what he does. And that those cornerbacks that he had, they were running routes that my receiver was running. So I'm not understanding why are you 0-4 and why you got only 156 points. But I'm gonna call it like this: Redskins. I think Cowboys might make a run. Giants and Eagles, they're gonna stay where they at, consistent. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm just being honest. Facts are facts. And Eagles.
I gotta agree with you. You gotta call what you see right here. The Cowboys, I do think will get some things figured out because they did have an outstanding draft. I like the Redskins; they're consistent. I kind of view this as the North a little bit this year. Of like, I think these teams will start beating up on each other as we progress, and guys will start figuring some things out, and we may see some like late race tighten up. But man, it's hard to fall back 3-1 to 1-2 and make a run. I mean, you can be 2 games back here pretty soon.
And now
even
that
if you make a run later.
And now Denver has Bosa on that D line, and he offered me, he wanted Roquan Smith and offered me a peanut butter sandwich for Roquan Smith. Come on, it's like, dude, I just had to throw that in there. Dude, Denver is all love.
Let's go to the NFC West and wrap up our last one. We got the Seahawks at 3-1. We got the Cardinals at 2-2. One of the more confusing teams for me. He is so talented and such a good player. I know he's sick of this Madden known. Maybe that plays a little bit into it. The 49ers at 1-3, and then the Rams, our new owner, up from the deuce at 1-2. I'm going to call this one, you see what you see. I think the Seahawks are going to win this division. I do think that the Cardinals will push and get a wild card spot. I think he'll be battling those teams in the NFC South for the wild card spot. But I like the Seahawks to win this division. Mo is Mr. Consistent, as well as Dwayne and D-Money and all these other really, really good teams. This guy just wins 12, 13, 14 games every single season. He just hasn't been able to get over that D-Money hump when it comes to the playoffs. But I do think the Cardinals are going to push. 49ers and Rams, just they're a long ways away. And Madden 21 will be their time to try to rebuild. How do you see the NFC West playing out?
I just take a snapshot of what you see right here. Rob.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this about Rob. Rob played Seahawks twice. He built your team. I picked you to make the playoffs. I don't know. You had a good record last year to make the playoffs. I'm just going to say, Rob, I'm kind of, I'm not going to say it because I hate when people say this. I mean, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. Don't tell me you're disappointed, but Rob, I'm seeing this right here, and I think you're a better player. So I'm just going to say this. Get off yourself. Go and kick Mo's ass. That's all I'm sorry to say. Kick his ass. Dude, you a better player than that. I want to see that. And you took that linebacker I wanted, that 90 speed linebacker. So, do your thing. Because Kirkland is unstoppable. Who's the little speed guy you got? Dude, do your thing. Stop him. He can be beat. You need to be the one in that division to take it. Just go in there and kick his ass. Get that mindset. Get that out of your mind that you can't beat him. Because if you go in there that you can't beat him, you're not gonna beat him.
Yeah.
So like I said.
So how do you see this one playing out?
Well, I'm not to be like you. I'm going Cardinals, Seahawks, and 49 Rams battle out for, who's gonna have the better draft. So I'm going Rob, the Seahawks. After my motivation speak to Rob. So let's go, Rob.
I know Seahawks were saying that Wilson had maybe regressed and was missing some pretty open passes, but he's still scoring 101 points and only allowing 61. So that defense is rocking and rolling.
Oh, and there's nothing against you, Mo, but I just want to see, we like change. Just like.
Oh, sure.
So, hey, and Rob's a talented player, but you're in his head. So you can't get, you walk into the game and saying you're going to lose, you're going to lose. Especially if something happened and you're like, oh. But I don't think Rob is, Rob is not like that. Rob, let's go, Rob. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go backtrack a little bit before we get to our bowl predictions. We're going to come back and do our bowl predictions right next, and we'll open up the mailbag. Let's talk about the offseason. I kind of skipped that on accident at the very beginning. It's super late at night. It's been a super long day, but let's go back to the offseason. This is the draft, and both the offseason, there was some big money being spent. We know that Cooks went to the Atlanta Falcons on big money. We haven't truly seen how that's going to play out because, of course, the money has been away from his team. But look, there's been other big money that was spent. There were some really good quarterbacks. We've seen, arguably maybe the best quarterback in free agency didn't even get picked up in free agency. He was picked up after the draft. He goes to the Eagles, starts week 1 and puts up 500 yards. So some crazy stuff. Hasn't helped though. He's still 0-4 or whatever it is. And then we had some drafts. We had he is right. And so we had the drafts that were pretty dominated by the Cowboys. I know the Cardinals.
Cowboys and the Saints. Yeah, you got a good draft too now.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good drafts. So just overall, what kind of stuck out to you when it came to the draft, and anything that really kind of rang true, and or not the draft, but just the entire offseason for season 91?
I guess the biggest thing I'm gonna say, the Browns. I looked at before we came on because it's kind of quick. I wish I had a little bit more time, but it is what it is. But the Browns, I was looking at their draft. They had Gannett, tight end. The guy at LSU, your guy, a little running back. Isaiah Wilson at guard. He had a nice little draft. CD Lamb, I think that was a 1 pick. And then he had another guy at LSU, 75, 76, 71, 68, and 70 overall picks. Draft. I think that's Mossy. I think he always drafts. Outside of the Cowboys and Saints, and you two guys are good. I mean, you get that many draft picks. You can't up unless you a knucklehead that used to play for us in Buffalo. You can't mess up a draft that bad. So I think the Broncos, he didn't have that many picks, but he had an okay draft too. So, but what stood out to me is those 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Sure, I think boys they got who did they get? Quarterback. Washington, Jacob Eaton. I think that was the 3rd quarterback taken or 4th quarterback. I think he was the taken, if I'm not mistaken. Out of the draft, but Cowboys had a nice draft also. Real nice. So that's why I'm not understanding the record with already a good team that he has. You gotta. So looking at your team, you said I should have went and got that pick. I could have got that pick that you got from the Ravens. And who did you wind up picking? Picking Joe.
I ended up taking Joe. I wanted Tua, but Tua went the pick before.
And then you got Diggs. Watching your game, Diggs has been
Yeah, Diggs has played really well.
yeah, he has played awesome. Really, looking at his stat, already has 2 picks in the season. I'm not thinking he's not leading league. Actually, Miami's guys leave. Miami's safety is leaving the league's picks with five picks, and the biggest and the number one pick in the draft, Young by the 49. I don't know how that's gonna work. That's gonna be real interesting to see without ability. How many games we're at? We're at what, week 5 now?
Yeah, we just went
And,
to week 5.
and he has 3 sacks, leading all rookies with 3 sacks. Chasing for his like tackles on the rookie. My guy, another LSU guy, the safety. His name Dale Pitt. That's how you pronounce Dale
Yeah,
Pitt.
Delpit.
Yeah, he has 22 tackles, and the next rookie he had 17. Tua, my goodness, Tua almost has 200 more yards for his passing wise. Your guy comes second, third for his quarterback. Running back.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was definitely right. It was the draft of the quarterbacks. You know, those guys went early and often. It was the draft
Yeah, don't
of
get me started
the
on
defensive
that.
linemen.
Uh-huh.
A lot of defensive linemen went in this. A lot of good linebackers fell in this one. A lot of good cornerbacks fell in this draft.
But I think it was
Look,
top.
I
I don't think
really,
it was kind of top heavy. It's like
it was
the
a little
first
top
3.
heavy, right?
Yeah, first 3 that went.
And by the time we got to like rounds 3 and 4, it was pretty much slim pickings after that. And even then, like I mean, I had both the third pick, the 10th pick, and like pick 27, 23, or something like that.
And you didn't muff it up. You didn't.
Like, well, that last guy is not even starting, right? Like he's right there on the cutting edge of starting, but he's not even starting right now. He's good.
You want, yeah.
I really like what the Dolphins did this offseason. Of course, you got to head, tip of the cap to what the Bills did this offseason. I thought that he had a little bit of a weird draft, but overall, like it's starting to pay off for him. If I remember correctly, I think the Browns had a lot of picks intended to do pretty good. Not a ton of big spenders, but man, to see the Falcons go out and get Cooks, I mean, it's a dangerous weapon to add to that team that already has a lot of really, really good weapons. And so, I don't know, man, it's going to be really tough to see how the Falcons do with Cooks. But overall, it was a good, quick off season so that we could get to the draft in time before Mother's Day. And I think it worked out. Jehu, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I didn't get to your question, but we can kind of answer your questions as we go to the mailbag. We just got a brand new follower, and he was asking some questions around the real life Bucks. And so while we're kind of loading this page up, what do you think about the real life Bucks? Do you think they go to the bowl this year with Brady and all these other weapons, Gronk coming out of retirement, or do you think this is just going to be a bust year for them? What are you expecting from the real NFL Bucks?
I think they'll make the playoffs. I still got a lot of hope.
Yeah, I don't expect anything from them. Look, I think that oh my goodness, a lot of questions today. I think that Brady is on the downside of his career, as anybody would be at 42, whatever years old he is. I think Gronk has lost a lot of weight. He is not the same player. He retired for a reason. His body was tired. He couldn't grind. It is not going to, I don't know that Bruce Arians is going to be able to keep him controlled over there in Tampa Bay. And yeah, I don't see these pieces all coming together. A very good young defense though. And if maybe somehow they can get some, they've got weapons on the outside in that offense, but can Brady get them to them? Will the offensive line protect them? Can they find a running game? Those are kind of my big answers for the Bucks. I don't really expect a lot from them. They might make the playoffs because they have talent and have a good coach. I definitely don't think that they're going to win the whole thing. Let's dig into our mailbag. Man, a lot of questions. So we're going to have to random fire a couple of these and see how fast we can get through them because there is a ton of questions. Who's the most surprising team so far in a good way, record-wise, and a bad way, record-wise? For me, the Bills are the most surprising team in a good way. Like he's had some really big wins. It's kind of hard. We're only week 4 here, just advance into week 5. And the team that kind of surprises me the most is the Packers. You can put the Packers up there in a good way. The team that surprises me the most are your Bears. I just didn't expect you to struggle this much in the quarterback situation coming out of the gates. I definitely didn't expect to see the Steelers do as well as they do. Of course, that was kind of a little bit of a crapshoot with a brand new player coming in. The Jaguars are a bit of surprise for me. The Patriots are a complete surprise to me. Like no one's seen them being 0-3. So those are a couple of those teams that kind of float to the top. Any good and bad for you?
It's probably, we're probably about the same. I'm happy for my guy, Outlaw, and hope I'm not too surprised about Packers because I've been tooting this horn, since I guess I'm gonna say day one. We had our first draft. I think he good. He put it together. I'm not too surprised about the new owner with the Steelers, but just being in the twos, I know what he can do. But my disappointment. Oh, like I said, we're both on the same page. Just Deuce, Blue, the Patriots.
Yeah.
Because he has been just 0-3 is not a good look. That don't look good on you. You don't wear 0-3 well. So hopefully
Let's go to number 2 from
Okay.
Dwayne. The Eagles have the number 1 offense in the league. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you want to keep on, please go. It paused for a long time. I thought you were finished.
No, go ahead.
Dwayne says the Eagles have a number 1 offense in the league. They've started out 0-4, three of these games. I didn't realize that's a good stat, Dwayne. 3 of his games by a touchdown or less, so not trash yards. What advice would you give little Koch? I say Cooch because you said that a while ago and it made me laugh and not stuck in my head, little Koch. What advice would you give little Koch to right the ship? It's a good question. What would you tell the Eagles to right the ship?
It's too late. I think we all talked. It's basically too late. You're NFC East?
Yeah.
Denver's gonna
4-game hole. That's a lot.
Denver's gonna do what Denver's gonna do. Only team that has a chance to catch him. I said we talked about it, is the Cowboys. So 0-4. Denver's not gonna go on a 3-game losing. So the only thing I can say is, hey, like Outlaw used to say, play for next year, Madden 21. Let me get my import.
Yeah.
Think about your import. That's all I say. Just think about your. It's over.
Look, you have a great quarterback that's now with you there that you just picked up. I don't know about your running game. I haven't watched your games, but losing those type of close games in the past when I've watched him, I just say that there were moments when he was trying to push it and he probably didn't need to push it and he probably needed to just stick to the game plan. And so I would say figure out what your game plan is with this new team and really just stick to that game plan. And sooner or later, those things will start to go your way. Number 3, my gosh, so many questions. We're going to roll. The Jets lead the league with 15 sacks through 4 seasons. Do you like this number compared to past seasons? To me, sacks are in a weird place. We have some games where there's none. I've got really good players that aren't getting any pressure at all. And then you have some games like we seen a while ago in the Bills and Patriots game where there were 14 sacks combined. There's no explanation as to why this is happening. I think overall, I wouldn't say I'm happy with the sack numbers. I will be happy. I am happy that it's defensive linemen that are leading the league. And I am happy that we don't have like a crazy, 15 sack individual already. So I think in that perspective, I'm happy. Not happy that 15 sacks have happened over 4 weeks, but again, we've had a couple crazy games. What do you think about sacks so far?
Well, I can only speak on my experience. I didn't watch a lot of games. I think the guy that's leading my team in sacks is not even a linebacker now. I switched back to a 3-4 full time. Is my outside linebacker Joel. I can't pronounce his name, and I'm not going to try to call him Joel I. He has 4 sacks, and all on blitzes, and Noel has 2. Smith has 1. Normally, the guy that has the most sacks is Noel. He has 1. I don't bring things up in live chats, and nobody should do it. If you got a problem or if you want to say something, say it to Nate. You already know how I feel about it, but now we're on it. I think EA was lazy with ability, and I think some of you guys out there are lazy. My take on abilities being off. Now, I do not like it when I get sacked 3 times, game by one guy. But to me, abilities made you feel like you were playing different. I know if I'm playing a team, even with your guy, big number 97, I need to know where he at all the time. Now, saying this, the games feel good. I would prefer, not abilities back on, but to get more pressure that you don't have time to throw. But as of right now, we're all in the same boat with the game, just like anything else. Get used to it. Nobody likes. I don't like it. I mean, I wish ability was on, but complain about it. I'm gonna put my head down and figure it out and play and have fun, and that's the only thing you do. We're here to have fun.
Yeah.
So that's not
Okay, I don't debate or argue those perspectives at all, and I don't think that they're wrong perspectives. And we could debate about EA and the way they made their game. It was out of hand, and trying to come up with a system to get it in hand was just a lot of work. And it was like last season, let's just try it with it off. And I do like the way the game feels better, but I also agree with you that I did like abilities because you needed to know where certain players were. Certain players had the opportunity to really take over games. I just hope that for 21 we can kind of find the middle ground between these two, because I do think that there can be a middle ground. Number 4 from D Wayne, he says, has the league shifted more to a pass happy offense? Nope, I'm adding words. It's not there. Just read it. Has the league shifted towards being more pass happy this last season? Only 5 teams average less than 200 yards passing a game. Bears, Colts, Lions, Texans, 49ers, and only 11 teams are averaging over 120 rushing yards a game. I think that in general, everyone is more pass happy. I think this game early, a lot of people were run happy, but EA has tweaked their game to make that run harder. And I think, as Smash said, most of us are lazy, and so people went back to the pass. Do you think that the league has shifted to being more pass heavy, or do you think?
I don't know. I think the guys that pass can pass, and he read the list. I think he was included. I like to run the ball. I don't have a quarterback to pass, so I'm gonna run the ball. But I don't know what the abilities being off. Going back to that, I don't know if we're seeing better animations. These receivers, I know over there in the Deuce, I think we're on all Madden no ability animations that hadn't probably Madden 19 with the interaction with the DBs and the cornerbacks. I mean the DBs and the wide receiver. But those who gonna pass are pass, and those who run are run.
Yeah.
Because I think the Miners, who else that like to pass the ball, since those guys they're proficient in passing. Those proficient in running we all gonna do what we do. So I really don't think that.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to save number 60, Wayne, for next week's show. But the Dolphins will go number 5. Dolphins rookie safety Ashton Davis has 5 picks for his first 3 games, the 12th pick in the second round. Do you think he's the steal of the draft so far? It's a little hard to debate, but what do you think?
Nope. I want to toot my own horn. I can't steal. He's surprised. I don't know, where did that guy come from? I think he wasn't even. Was he highly ranked? I think he was like a second or third ranked guy, wasn't he?
He was a second, yeah. There's a 12th pick in the second round.
Yeah, I don't think it was just one of those guys he scouted, grabbed. Maybe I'm thinking about the real NFL because I don't wonder. I think I got somebody else top safety the draft after me. I don't think he radar from mistaken. He's out of California, I think. That's the one. California. Yeah,
I don't know where he's from.
Yep, California. Oh, he's a hidden development. It's still early. Can't really call still a draft.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's early, but I mean that's impressive. 5 interceptions already is an impressive season already.
Yeah, he's leading all the rookies anyway by 3 picks. He has 3 more than the next rookie out of Green. Your guy took both of those guys. So Diggs could be the steal of the draft. or that other cornerback
Um,
that was taken. I can't think of the guy that you was like saying he's still on the board. He's still on the board.
there's
Uh,
still some good players out there. Well, I mean, season 91 has been a crazy one so far, but if that guy even stays average the rest of the season, he's
oh
going to
yeah,
be up
he
there
gonna be
for
sick.
defensive rookie of the year,
Yeah,
and it's a second round pick. That's pretty good.
right. Let's just see what guys cry about this. Uh, DM you and say, "Oh, you can't do that."
Let's go to Bloop's questions. He's got three. Let's see if we can run through here. What do you think is the key to consistency in the OMFL? Each year, my team has felt completely different on the field. There seems to be no real rhyme or reason to it. There must be a secret somewhere. I don't know what the secret to success is. I think it's the biggest key to consistency is finding plays that really work for your playbook and your style. I think Dwayne has figured that out pretty well. Stick to what you do well and figuring out how to you continue to gather access without losing a lot. The money has figured that out. And if you have a really good team, keeping that core team together and then finding the other pieces that fit your system well. Mo has that figured out, right? Mo likes those speed receivers. He sticks with Wilson. He doesn't waver. He keeps that defense there. He doesn't trade a whole lot. Doesn't do a whole bunch of anything. He really just keeps that core. So I think the consistency theme, and that's hard for Blue because he doesn't do a lot of crazy things with his team. But Blue, I'm right there with you. My team feels completely different from week to week, much less season to season. So I don't know what the secret sauce is to these guys. We tried to start all 22 OMFL experts so to get these guys off the schneid to come and share some of their secret sauce. And all 22 is kind of floundered in the last couple of months. But yeah, that's the only answer, right? What do you think the key to being consistent in the OMFL may be?
I just think you need to just do you. Like you said, you can take, these guys, like you said, coming to all 22, you cannot do what they do. Do what you do
Yeah.
and take some of the stuff you do. I know I didn't talk to a couple of guys. I said, look, like at D1, he runs the ball, but like I can remember at the beginning, his offensive wasn't as good. And say this to guys, if you see something and you like what certain guys do, go back and go look and see which practice thing, which training session they're doing. If you like what they do,
Yeah.
then try to, copy that. But as far as gameplay wise, Dwayne's like those safeties. Now you can't go out and go have your team filled with a bunch of safeties. That's not gonna work. Take what he does and put it in game plan. Don't try to like copy like in the real NFL. You know how
Yeah.
teams do copycats and it never works out. And it's the same here. Stick to what you
Yeah.
do. Take some of the stuff. If you didn't play, like if you play a guy, take some of the things that they do and maybe in your playbook. I know I've done because Jay Glaze has this one play, and I always know what is going to happen. It's this pistol ace with the tight end running a corner rat and the wide receiver on the left side going under. He's going to either his first run is that tight end. He was killing me there. Guess what I did? I took it and I put it in my playbook. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I didn't change my whole playbook to what he does, but I took some and added to my. So just only consistent things. Those guys, like I said with Denbrew, I'm not picking on you, Denbrew, but Denbrew's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. He doesn't change. That's why
Yeah.
he gonna make the playoffs, but he's not gonna go far because when you play the Falcons and Mo, if you do not change who they can change up, if you stop something on the Falcons, guess what? He's gonna do something else. So you have to,
Yeah.
even though they're consistent, but they also can change. So
Yeah.
those that are consistent will go a certain way, but those who are consistent and can adapt, these are the guys that's on top constantly. Constantly,
Yeah.
they are top.
Bloop, I'm going to save your question number 3 for next week. I think it's a good one, but I'll take your question number 2. Who do you think is the best situational coach in the league? Maybe not always the best stick skills guy and may not always win, but who do you think makes the most correct calls as a coach on a week to week basis? I'm going to go with Denbrew. I think he's super consistent. He makes the right calls. He sticks to his game plan. He does his homework, his research. Denbrew's kind of the guy that comes to my mind. Who's the best situational coach in the league for you?
Going with Jason, Kyle, whatever. He doesn't do anything. And because every time I play him, it's nothing cheesy or I don't have a complaint about him. So I'm gonna go with the Jets. He's sort of like
Yeah,
them.
I think that's a good one.
He's sort of like Denbrew, but after he will change it up. He will adapt. Denbrew, like I said, I'm not gonna give him tips because I don't have to play him this year, but he's in it. The Jets are FPR good, and they beat you with simple plays. They're like, dude, it frustrates you. I'd rather have somebody beat me something cheesy that I know that he shouldn't be than somebody doing FPR and just kills you and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Jets.
No, I mean that's a really good one. We're gonna save number 3 from Bloop for next week. Let's see if we can do a couple of Cincy's. We're gonna probably save some of your Cincy's. Cincy, I think we covered your second question in the other question above. We're gonna save your third question, Cincy, but we'll take your first one. Who out of the new owners do you think can make the deepest run to finish this cycle? Pittsburgh, Carolina, or the Rams? I think it's going to be the Panthers. I think that the Panthers have a really good team. Trey's a really good player. And I think that he has the best opportunity to make a pretty deep run. Now, where does a deep run actually end? Whenever you play the Falcons, who knows? But I like the Panthers. Out of those 3, which one do you like to make a deep run?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Who do y'all play? For us, like opposite division.
I don't remember.
Let me see. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, I want to say the Panthers. I want to be. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Team already. Penguins left him with a good squad. Not that the Panthers don't, but I think the NFC is. You got Mo. You got Big Herd. You got, of course, the Evil Empire and the Falcons over there. I think it's tougher for him to and playing a tougher division. I think he's playing a tougher division also. So even though I think the AFC North is no slouch, the South is a little bit tougher. So I'm gonna go with Steelers.
There you go. Let's. Yep. And I think he'll win that division, right? And kind of sets himself up for an opportunity for a deeper run. So it's hard to argue with that pick. Let's go with Ross. He's got 3 quick questions. Number 1, do you feel like the defensive line being without X factor and superstar abilities has given us a perfect balance? I don't think that there is such a thing as a perfect balance for Madden 20. The game just plays so dramatically different from week to week, game to game. It's really hard to gauge, and I think that that's the biggest issue that I have with Madden is the game does feel much better without the abilities, even though I like the abilities, but I just felt like they got way out of hand and made the game feel too gimmicky because it was like quadruple the amount of X factors and out of the box. So I do like the way it feels, but it just doesn't play consistent. And so even if the game has flaws, if it's consistent and you know what those flaws are, then you can build around that, right? You can put in rules or you can adjust sliders, right? Like the game is so inconsistent, it's hard to do any of that stuff. And so it makes it really, really difficult. And that's my biggest problem. What do you think about the defensive line? I know that you're not getting a lot of pressure. I know that you liked the abilities, but what are your response to his question around the defensive line not having abilities?
I'm like you. I think different week to week. So I didn't have a sack. And looking at the Vikings D line, he didn't get any pressure on Love where he could, pressure him to throw the ball off. That's one thing I do not like. I'm not looking for 6 sacks. I'm looking for pressure. Well, quarterback, if they have this trait that paranoid, that it would affect the game. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'm looking. And looking at your game, I think big number 97, my favorite player to watch is, I don't know how many sacks he had, but man, hadn't seen all this.
He didn't have none this last game.
Right. But I think if you got like 3 or 4 guys on your line, 2, there should be some type of pressure. Some games I watched, even in the deuce over there, where, like I said, I hate to bring it up, keep bringing them up, but no abilities over there easy. Sister league, and we're playing on all man. So I got who I got. I got Sweat. I got Chase Young on my defense, and I got a all-star D line. I didn't get any. Maybe next game I will get pressure, but I'm sitting watching game to game. Like you said, it's different. Some games are getting pressure. Some games they're not. Then you said you already know my feelings. I wish they were still there, but they're not. I think it's just something. I think guys are just gonna have to send more blitzes. You're gonna have to take more risks. If you're playing the Falcons, you don't. You probably want to put more
I think it
players
does.
back.
I think it does. But I also think like it does open the door to more strategy. You have to think through it. Like it isn't just go get a bunch of X factor players, put them on the field, and play man and zone defense, man up two, and play quarter four, quarter three zone all game, right? Like I think having no abilities, there's a trade off there, and I agree with all of your perspectives of those trade offs. But I think it does even the playing field a little bit when we think about the Falcons and at the end of the day, he's killing the league. He's dominating this league. So if we don't close that gap and get some other winners, or at least give people a chance to win, we're gonna have a problem on our hands, right? And then part two, I think not only closes that gap a little bit, but you now have the game plan. You have to build around your team, and you have to adjust, right? You got to do those things.
Yeah, but I think
how about?
I think like you said, like I DM you. I think it's more like we're playing Madden 18, Madden 9. I mean, if I got Noel and he's like, I know it's not gonna change, but I just want to spawn on. But we're all playing the same game. But if I got Noel and he's like 95 finesse going up against a tackle, now he's not going, even in a real NFL scrub, he's not going to give up 6 against one. But if you got all-star line, more pressure.
It's 6 sacks in one game is never going to happen.
Yeah,
and I experienced that at least 4 times, 5 times.
I wish I knew that secret to get 6 sacks. Because hell, when Noel has X factor, it seems like that's when somebody pays attention.
It's tough. Let's go to number 2 real quick. Do you feel like wide receivers are catching quote unquote everything as it's been said in chat? I personally don't. I think I had 5 drops last game.
I don't either because I had to play against Fowler, and he just skied over.
There've been some great catches. Right. I can't argue that. There've been some great animations.
Yeah, and I think that.
But I don't believe it catches everything.
Right. I think this has something to do with the abilities off, and maybe just. I think with the abilities off, we probably will see more different animations that we have seen. But I don't think that, like I said, on my personal experience playing against Priest, and we know how he likes to throw the rock, and he has 2 big-time receivers, maybe the best combo in the league. I didn't, feel that they were overpowered.
Yeah. Kurt, I just seen your chat, buddy. I'd rather not. It's already 11:40 at night. Probably a little too late by the time we wrap this up in the next 15 minutes.
Oh, he wants to play. Go play. Hey.
Yeah, he wants to play. If you can play tomorrow, I'd much rather wait till tomorrow. I am dead tired. But if you can't and you're forcing me to, I'll play. He says, Ross is number 3. He says, I have the Lions as my dark horse Super Bowl team. Your thoughts? My thoughts are you're drinking, and that's a real dark horse. Like that horse is so dark, it's dead and rotted and should be put in the ground. Ross of the Vikings. He thinks that the Lions are his dark horse Super Bowl team. What are your thoughts about the Lions? It's no disrespect either. I think Cooley's amazing.
I mean,
no way he wins the Super Bowl.
Only way I see Cooley now. I don't know.
The only way the Lions win the Super Bowl is if D-Money's hands fall off somehow.
Oh, well, yeah, because
he gets
he's in
corona
the
in the fingers
now,
and they fall off.
Cooley has the ability to make it to the NFC Championship. I will give him that. So,
yeah. No, Cooley's a very good player. But until somebody beats the Falcons, I don't think anyone does.
Now, I will say this. I will throw a little smack talk at him, but, in the TFL, well, hell, even here, shit, we're about even. And I owe you one anyway for that last
I don't
touchdown.
know. You stick it to me pretty good. I am not consistent. Let's go to Maniac. I'm just going to take one Maniac. I'm going to save the other ones, especially your roster builder, since that goes with the other question. I'm going to save your veteran shocked you. I think that's a good question. I'll take your Madden generated. So he says this. He says, with Madden generated draft classes being so bad in this Madden, will we look to get more custom draft classes set up for the next Madden? Highly doubtful. And
don't
Catch
like that.
22. I say highly doubtful because I believe that most generated, number one, the only way I would do it is how I did a couple months ago, is if one individual makes 4 to 5 draft classes. If one person makes 4 to 5 draft classes, I know the tone, the feel, the player development is going to be the same because it came from the same roster development guy. Because that's probably not going to happen. I think the only guy that used to do that isn't doing them anymore. Because that doesn't happen. I'm getting different humans who have different views on what draft classes should look like, making different draft classes so they all feel different, they all look different, and they can really shift the way a league functions. And so the reason, yes, I think the Madden generated classes suck and they need more. The problem is, I think this one that we just got through had too much and too many high end players. And so we'd have to find a balance between those two, and then find somebody that consistently makes them. I honestly think it would be a great job for somebody in this league to either go find some. I would pay for them. I've offered to pay for them in the past, or somebody just to go and take, make 5 Madden generated draft classes, download them all, and then go in there and mess with them and update them a little bit. I used to do that. The last 2 Madden drafts, I haven't had a chance to. I didn't do it to a lot of players, but I would go in there for like 10 players an entire draft and move them around a little bit and give them a little boost and like try to have some sleepers that were kind of in the draft. I don't know what my kid's doing, but decided to go and build a house in my house at 11 o'clock at night, 11:45 at night. But anyway, I just think it's tough, Maniac. I'm open to it, but I'm not open to it if I got to go find 5 different draft classes from 5 different humans, because they're all going to feel and look completely different and could really swing the way that the league plays. And that's a little too scary for me. And then the last one from Ross, I don't know what he's talking about here. Maybe you do, but he says, are the rumors out of Minnesota true, Derwin James to the Vikings? Ross, this doesn't count as a question because you can't ask a question about your own trade rumors. I can't give you free points for that, so that doesn't count. I also haven't heard those rumors. I think it would be an interesting trade. It depends on what you'd have to give up to give Derwin James. It would definitely help that team, and definitely help him in an area that they're struggling in. Have you heard that rumor?
I hadn't heard, and I talked to him on a regular basis. I hadn't heard that rumor, but to me, like I told Denbrew when he wanted Roquan Smith for a second rounder and 78 speed or 81 speed linebacker, I think Roquan is like close to 90. You give me a peanut butter sandwich. It's the last season. I thought with that Bosa trade, I thought, oh, we must be playing another season. So I don't know what my prediction was for the Miners, but why are you trading Bosa? Giving up on the season? It's the last season. So
yeah,
only way I can trade is the even player for an even player. Hell, I go 0-16. I'm not trading Roquan Smith. I want to at least have I at least want to have it.
Some of those guys that do that is just, it's mind blowing to me. And like, I also, again, I know everyone's got their own thoughts. There's some teams I just won't trade with. They're just off limits.
But
I'm not going to go trade. I'm not trading with the Falcons.
Right.
I'm not going to go and give the Seahawks a bunch of good players. I'm not going to go and give the Colts a bunch of good players. Now, if it's a good, fair, even deal, then maybe. But the Falcons are completely like, why don't you give a guy that's won 5 Super Bowls in a row anything? Like, no, I'm not giving you anything.
Because some people like to trade, and then they think, hey, he's coming to me, he's talking to me. Dude, don't come to me. I'm like this in real person. I don't want to talk to you. You coming to me and asking me something, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Like what did Stone Cold say? DTA. And so that's just me. But don't trust anybody. Yeah. So you coming to me, hey, let me help you out. Who was that guy that you kicked out the league? And he always just say, hey, let me help you out.
Yeah, I think it was B-Hog. Yeah, B-Hog.
Hey, buddy, let me help you out. Anybody come with me with a trade, it's like
that dude was so sketchy.
It's like
you coming to me like a commission himself.
Right, you coming to me like I'm 11 years old. I can remember. I'm gonna tell this story and I'm gonna let you go. This bookstore called Books A Million. They used to have Pokemon tournaments in this little room right where the magazine. I'm standing over there looking at the magazine. This little boy comes out crying. I think he's about 8 years old. You better gotta get back in there and get your car. He made a fool out of you every time somebody come to me with some trade. I think it's not funny.
You think of that?
I think I'm not 11 years old. You coming to me
That's
with a
funny.
trade. I just thought about it. But my thing about with the trade, it's the last season. You got to give me something before why would I trade both for a second round? It makes no sense. Because I think unless you're just trying to better your chances on, and then if you trade with Denbrew, that second round pick is worth what? A third? It's basically a third round because he's going to the playoffs. So it made no sense. I wasn't taking this second round pick, a 77 overall linebacker in an 81 speed for Roquan, because it made no sense. Now if you offer me a first round pick, where I have a better chance of bringing an import over because of where I'm at in my season, I would have took the trade.
No, I agree. Look, Colin is a different cat, and I don't even begin to try to get into Colin's head. He scares me a little bit, so I just want Colin to like me and be nice to me.
Well,
but
Colin, I'm not.
some of those trades, man, make you scratch your head.
I'm sure everybody in NFC is not happy. NFC East is not happy with it. And
I'm not going to be happy. I gotta play that dude.
Well, Denbrew is loading up for the Falcons. That's what he's doing. He's making a run like Pinkins, which is good. Hey, you got loaded for bear. So you're going against the Death Star, but you're not Luke Skywalker. I don't think it's gonna happen. So.
Well, let's quickly put a bow on this show. Let me talk about our partners here in the OMFL. We got Daddy Leagues. Love Poppy. He's a good dude. I haven't heard from him a lot this Madden, but Poppy's a really good dude, and I appreciate everything that Daddy Leagues does for us. I love our Daddy Leagues page. If you haven't checked it out, daddyleagues.com/OMFL. Go check it out. League Crawler, my buddy Matt over at League Crawler. I appreciate that retweet today about our pen tool video that we made. We're going to be putting out a video this week around streaming, both how I used to stream with a low-end computer, and you can still do that at 720, and then how I stream with my new setup that you're seeing right now. And there's so many new things, man. I am working hours every day learning new little things I'm going to add in here. And so over the next couple of weeks, you'll start to see new toys popping in and popping up that you guys can come and participate with us. Love Matt. Go to leaguecrawler.com. I tell you this all the time. Get your profile. Go give the OMFL a rate. If you play in the TFL, if you play in any of the leagues, go rate them. Leave a comment. Leaguecrawler.com is one of the best sites for Madden that you can find out there. And then our buddies, our Xbox One partners, Soden over at Soden Bowl. We appreciate Soden and all he does. Some of the best quality content from Madden that you're going to see out there. Very high quality and just a really good Xbox league. So if you're on the Xbox side of Madden, go check them over at sodenbowl.com. And then, of course, here at the Grown Folks Online Community, grownfolksoc.com. This is all the different leagues. I'm so proud of the OMFL. Lots of content this season. We've added some new blood that's putting out new content. We got to get some new content at this other league stuff here. I need to add some here. And you can even check out some of my self-help videos that I've started to put out. This is my first one. If you want to know, how do I cut a player out? As you can see here, when I cut out these Madden players, I show you exactly how to do that with the Photoshop pen tool. And then you can see all of our great leagues here from the NBC, TFG, ATG, TFL, PFL, PFF, PFFL, something like that. The Deuce, of course, and then, of course, our buddy over, I guess I forgot to talk about our other buddy, Shop and Shopmaster. I love Shop. If you're looking for 2K content, if you're looking for Madden content, shopmaster.com. Follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter. Lots of really good stuff. And then, of course, follow us. Follow us here on Twitter. Here on Twitch. Follow us on Twitter, Grown Folks OC, and then our website and our YouTube page, Grown Folks Online Community. Would love for you to come and check us out. So for Mr. Smash, I appreciate you for hanging out with me tonight. We have a lot of people on tonight. Even though it's midnight, you guys stayed up with us, probably watching in bed. It has been awesome. The chat's been full, and it's just been a really good season so far. I know that there's been some weird, wonky stuff happening. I know that there are the people like you that aren't fans of no abilities, but it does feel like the game's a little bit fresh, and I think it's good to have a fresh feeling going into the last season before we all kind of get into the summer. This will bring us deep into the summer, and then maybe like a 2 to 3 week break before the new Madden. Though I am telling you now, I'm expecting the new Madden to be delayed by 30 to 60 days. If that happens, we will dust off Madden 20 again and do a restart from Madden in NFL rosters. We'll find a roster out there that has the most updated NFL rookies and free agent moves and all that. We'll start up for one more season. Who knows? We may even give all Madden a try that season and see what it feels like, and maybe even put X factors and abilities back on, since it'll be an out of the box roster and hopefully more balanced. So, look, it's been a lot of fun. Smash, give me one last thought as we put a bow on number 165.
Well, everybody, still going through this pandemic, even though if your states, we're all over the place. Smart about it. For us, OMFL, the thirst to a minimum. That's all I got.
That's it. He just drops the mic. Keep the thirst to a minimum. I admit, I think that it's just the little things, man. It's the tiny FPR things, like every time you have a chance, you're using the juke move. I don't do it. Like, you don't need to do those things every time. Or it's, the overuse of cover 2 zone, or even the overuse of cover 2 man. Mix it up. Use other plays. I am a cover 2 man freak. I've had to force myself to use cover 2 man with a man under. I've had to use, other zone plays, right? Like, I'm forcing myself to mix it up. When you've called something a lot. And if I'm playing you and I start seeing a play where I'm like, I've seen that play come up on my screen a lot, then I know because you have to go pick those. I know when I'm going to a formation too often or a play too often. So again, it's if you keep that rule number one, or that majority rule of just don't do anything over and over and over every chance you get, you'll be just fine. And I think those are some of the bigger things that we can all work on. So for Smash, for all the leadership here in the OMFL, I thank you for hanging out with me tonight. We'll come back to you every Sunday night for Press Pass Live. And we're into week 5, so go enjoy week number 5, and we'll see you next weekend. Have a great rest of your week. God bless you. Peace.